I chair the Lands Committee in the National Assembly, and I would like to just make a few remarks. Mr. Speaker, when you said that we go to various places where we fit in, my members could not fit in any of the places that you mentioned. So they actually fit in almost all. So I found myself being in the housing sector. My colleague, Jane Kihara, was in the agriculture sector. One of my other colleagues, Waruguru, was in the health sector. So we are in every sector. So land is now the enabling one that is going to enable the big four. It is the most important, the most controversial. Honorable Speaker, you have seen us do our work. At times it gets sticky, but I can say that we have a very good committee that is very committed, that has done very good work in the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, we are, and colleagues and KEPSA, I would like just to focus on the importance of land as a social economic transformation tool that requires a lot of interventions, which focuses on legislation. Based on the constitution that we got in 2010, land is one of the most important factors, and it must be equitably distributed as per the constitution, efficiently. It must be productively and sustainably handled in accordance with the following principles. The first one is ensuring that fairness to accessing land. And you know this is a very tall order, bearing on our history. Security on land rights, which is also a matter that requires a lot of discussion. Sound conservation and protective and ecological sensitivity issues, as has been discussed by people in environment. And also elimination of gender discrimination in law, customs, and practices related to land and property registration and use. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, also within the Constitution, we are required to ensure or try to encourage communities to settle disputes concerning land outside the courts. I wanted to give this background so that I can say what is it that the National Assembly has done, and I will just focus on the 12th Parliament. What is it that we have done to make sure that we try to pick on the call that was given by the Constitution? We have come up with two laws, courtesy of the Honorable Majority Leader, Duale, their government bills, which have been prosecuted by the committee. And the first one is the Physical Planning Bill. It was one of our National Assembly Bill number 34, which has been prosecuted. We interacted with many stakeholders. Thank you very much for your input. And we were also able to put it through Parliament, all the stages, and it is now, I don't know whether to say lying or sitting in the Senate. Honorable Speaker, I say this because we had some frustrations in the 11th Parliament where we passed the health laws, did a very good job, and we started like almost lobbying our colleagues, asking them, kindly, we did so much work. Do not let this, make sure that it sees the light of the day. So as the call was made by the Honorable Gikaria, I would like also to ask that if we can push communication to make sure that these laws do not just lie there, so that they are taken care of. And also, we also have the Land Value Index Bill, which is also at the Senate level. The Physical Planning Bill, colleagues, is one bill that is meant to bring order in this country. The state is supposed to regulate the use of any land or any interest or right over land in the interest of defense, public safety, public order, public morality, public health, and land use planning. So this is the bill which hopefully will become law and will bring law and order in terms of how do we use our land. When we go to these countries, even very small countries like Rwanda, which are much younger than Kenya, and they are so well organized, it is because they came up with laws, and now they are implementing these laws. Then the other bill is, as I mentioned earlier, is the Land Value Index bill, and this is the one that is going to assist us on matters compensation. Colleagues, you know what we have experienced with the SGR, where government wants to make use of land, and we must go to our people so that we can convince them to give land to government for development. The SGR, the Kitui-Kibwezi Road currently, where I represent the people of Kitui South, we have the irrigation projects that are going on. We have so many housing projects. I do not want to mention many, but the fact is that land has become extremely expensive, such that it becomes a budget on its own. The purpose of this law is to make sure that we have a way of identifying cost of land in all parts of the country, and to make it easier for government to acquire without being authoritarian, making sure that people are compensated, and at the same time, government is not delaying projects because of struggling to acquire land that essentially is owned by government. Honorable Speaker, I would like to say that these two laws that we have done, we believe that they can do quite a lot in ensuring that we have law and order in this country. We ensure that projects are planned. In our meeting that we just came from now, we had a discussion about coming up of estates in different places, and one of the honorable members was saying he was lucky to be there in the 50s, and he was saying that estates just come up. With physical planning bill, law, hopefully it will become law, will ensure that there is some order. Honorable members and all other colleagues, the other things that we have been focusing, which I would like to thank the honorable members in my committee for, is that we are getting lots of petitions, lots of complaints regarding land, lots of issues that are raised that are making it difficult to implement projects, others which are bringing confusion in making people make decisions on investment. So I would like to say that my committee has been extremely useful in the National Assembly in tackling petitions, tackling complaints, tackling corruption matters, focusing on matters to do with business rivalry, which we can only do part of. I do not want to mention the matters that we are discussing right now, which are very odd, like the matter of the Tatu City. So that is what I would like to say is the contribution of the Lands Committee regarding enabling legislation on land for greater Big Four results. Thank you.